This exquisite bottom bracket tool is just one of many exquisite tools and custom parts from a company you've likely never heard of. But it's a company you should check out if you work on bikes, or Jeeps, or hot rods, or ATVs, or... Let's start with the company. Wieland Custom Machine is a machine shop in Stanton, Nebraska. They pride themselves on custom work, mostly for builders of custom cars and motorcycles. Early in the company's history, they started making tools for bicycle applications, particularly mountain bikes. Here's what owner Jim Wieland told me. We are a small company from Nebraska. We started 18 years ago, 2006 as of this recording, making only car parts. But we were into mountain biking, as were our younger brother and older sister. Between the four of us, we would easily put on 10,000 miles a year, so we had to start doing more and more maintenance. Nebraska has very few, if any, suspension shops, and the bike shops are few and far between. So we started making stuff we needed to fix the bikes we had. We decided to transition into a lot of bike tools, which is treating us pretty well. We have well over 100 different bike tools now, and are still biking, though not in Cat 1 shape at the moment. Here's how I came to buy this tool from Wieland Custom. My 2019 Santa Cruz LTC uses a SRAM Dub BSA bottom bracket. At first I wasn't in love with it because of the high torque needed on the spindle, but it has proven to be robust and reliable and virtually maintenance free, so I'm happy with it now. I also prefer threaded bottom brackets. Press fit styles can be fussy to install and remove and nearly impossible to silence. Some riders like them, some merely accept them. But I see press-fit bottom brackets as a net loss in quality of experience, and I'm grateful to have the threaded style on my Hightower. In anticipation of the day my Dub would require replacement, I looked for a tool to remove the cups. Park has Dub sockets, but they're not cheap, and when you add in the recommended bottom bracket tool retaining system, the total cost is too high for something I'll use infrequently. I shopped around online and found several options, including some on Etsy. Etsy? Are you kidding me? The online source for crap that ends up in a yard sale or at Goodwill when grandma goes to assisted living? Yep, same Etsy. More on that buying experience later. There was a 3D printed tool with a built-in retainer, but it wasn't inexpensive. Besides, I'm kind of a torque nut, especially when carbon is involved, as with the frame on my Hightower. I wanted to be able to torque the bottom bracket cups to spec, so I needed a 3/8" drive, which the 3D tool lacked. This tool from Wieland Custom fit the bill. I kind of took a chance whether the inability to use a retainer tool would be an issue. That turned out fine. The engagement of the tool with the cups is absolutely perfect, and the security of the fit is enhanced by the center post of the tool. The outside diameter of that post is a perfect fit with the inside diameter of the cups. Once in place, the Wieland tool held the cups securely. Dub threaded bottom brackets are still in production and are not uncommon OE parts on new bikes. I suppose it's possible that some models of Dub may have thinner shoulders on the cups, making the use of the tool retainer a necessity, but I doubt it. The Wieland bottom bracket tool fits so securely it seems a non-issue. For reference, the shoulders on my cups are about 120 millimeters tall, at least on the non-drive side. The drive side seems the same, but I didn't measure it. Other cool features? Direction to loosen is marked on the face of the tool. If you don't service bottom brackets frequently, it's easy to get confused since the direction is opposite on opposite sides of the bottom bracket and opposite the direction of pedals on the same side of the bike. The torque spec is also on the face. SRAM says the correct torque is 50 Newton meters, which is 36.878 foot-pounds, but 35 foot-pounds is close enough. My guess is SRAM rounded up and Wieland rounded down, each wanting to hit a multiple of 5. The 3/8" drive mated perfectly with my Park tool torque wrench. The edges of the Wieland tool have slight fluting to facilitate turning the cups in and out by hand. Mostly the tool was beautifully machined. The smudges seen in the images are there because I took the pictures after using the tool, and some spooge from my gloves transferred onto the tool. The tool was pristine when it came out of the original packaging. Shipping was fast. Communication was good when I had a couple of questions for Jim Wieland. Overall, this was one of the better online transactions I've had. This is just one of many specialty tools offered by Wieland Custom. This harkens back to the early days of mountain biking, before Fisher and Bontrager and others got swallowed up by corporate America, when innovative small companies saw a need and filled it. It was the age of the Hypercracker and the early Thudbuster. It was the day of the late Joel Newkirk and his Nuke handlebars. Sadly, now an online search of Joel and his handlebars reveals only brief records of his patent applications. The mountain bike industry has not gone entirely corporate. There are still specialty builders out there, as well as second and third tier niche suppliers. The mountain bike vibe of the 80s through the early to mid 90s is still around if you're willing to search for it, and Wieland Custom fits right in. Bike dealers are not part of this discussion. Here in Madison, Indiana, we have one dealer, Fizz's Bike Shop. It's a good shop, but it caters mostly to skaters and BMXers, of which I am neither. Even if you're fortunate enough to have a good bike shop nearby, the odds of them having a dub bottom bracket tool in stock are slim. So we're talking about online availability. It's easy to find commodity products online: tires, drivetrain and brake components, saddles. Wait a minute, hasn't the bike industry been in free fall since last year? Aren't some online retailers closing up shop? Yes, but this isn't the first time. I still have products I bought from Price Point and Supergo some years back before those online retailers went out of business. What we're seeing is simply reversion to the mean. We've reached a peak and will plummet down past the average before reaching a paucity of industry activity before it builds back up again on its way to another peak. In the meantime, inventories are generally good at the many remaining online sellers, and few of the COVID-related shortages remain. But while commodities are easy to find, specialty products are not, and a dub bottom bracket tool is a specialty product. As mentioned, I could find the Park tool, but the value proposition didn't work for me. In an online search, I blundered across the tool from Wieland Custom on Etsy. I associated Etsy with kitschy products, and there are plenty of those on the site. There is also an abundance of quality pieces from artisans and craftspersons selling their wares on Etsy, which I did not expect. Most surprising was the presence of specialty products such as those from Wieland Custom and other sellers. Etsy has come under criticism, mostly due to changes in management, policies, and cost, but those complaints come from sellers. As a buyer, I found the entire transaction to be pleasing and painless, partly due to Wieland Custom's excellent communication, but also to the vibe of the Etsy platform. I buy almost nothing from Amazon anymore, as my Amazon transactions over the past year or so have been fraught with problems. Terrible product quality and difficult returns are the rule. And eBay is challenging for me, as their platform requires fluency I lack. Etsy was easy to use, low-key, and friendly. Although it still carries mostly products of no interest to me, Etsy will be my preferred source for things I need that happen to be sold there. So here's a last-minute edit. I like the dub bottom bracket tool from Wieland Custom so much for my mountain bike that I bought the equivalent tool for the FSA bottom bracket on my gravel bike. So there you have it. Why I bought what I bought and why I bought it where I did. I hope you find this helpful. If so, let me know in the comments. Yes, comments help build the channel, but mostly I just enjoy interacting with viewers. I have no ambition to become a YouTube star, but I do dig the banter. My thanks to those supporting my efforts. You can do so on a monthly basis through Patreon or with a one-time contribution through PayPal. Links are in the description. I'm Rich Reese, and I'll see you out there. Between the four of us, we would easily put on 10,000 miles a year, so we had to start doing more and more. Between the four of us, we would easily put on 10,000 miles a year, so we had to do... Between the four of us, we said... Between the four of us, we would easily put on 10... I wanted to be able to torque the bottom bracket cups to spec, so I needed a 3/8" drive, which I wanted to be able to torque the bottom bracket. I wanted to be able to torque the bottom bracket cups to... Golly. If you don't service the bottom bracket... If you don't service bottom brackets... If you don't service threaded bottom brackets frequently, it's easy to get confused since the direction is opposite the direction of... It's easy... Oh, hang on. Get this damn arrow out of here.